Kia ora, good evening. It's been confirmed 2 X Factor judges have been fired after scathing comments about an Invercargill man's performance on last night's live show. Husband and wife Natalia Kills and Willie Moon bullied Joe Irvine, sending social media into a frenzy today with calls for both judges to be axed. MediaWorks chief executive said today, while X Factor judges are expected to provide critiques of performances, destructive tirades are intolerable.
From the hair to the suit, do you not have any value or respect for originality? You're a laughingstock. It's cheesy. It's disgusting.
Cleopatra?
I personally found it absolutely artistically atrocious.
Today, staff at Dyak's nursery in Invercargill, where the victim of the bullying works, say Joe did well to remain composed, considering what was said.
I really couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I was thinking, how can this stuff really go to air, you know? And everybody else has sort of been saying the same thing, so it's just the way it is.
They have decided that those judges are going to be fired. What's your response to that?
Well, it was probably that it had to happen, I think, because you just can't carry on like that on TV, especially with a lot of the younger viewers. And, something had to be done.
Do you think this had been built up to a certain extent? They were perhaps looking to create some controversy, the pair of them?
Well, I think those programs are always sort of along those lines, you know, got to get a bit of talk back, a bit of something going on and stir a few things up, you know. But I think that just went a bit over the top and got out of hand, and that's what happens.
Well, with them off the board, perhaps Joe might have a good run through to the finals.
Yeah, hopefully, yeah.
Stage 2 of the Around the Mountain Cycle Trail has been given the all clear, and if no appeals are lodged, construction could soon be underway. The Ariti River section of Stage 2 of the Around the Mountain Cycle Trail has been granted resource consent by an independent commissioner. About 19 kilometres of proposed trail needed resource consent, and the commissioner concluded that any adverse effects on the environment would be outweighed by the positive benefits to the region. Gaining consent has been a long process for the Southland District Council, who are pleased things are finally moving forward.
Maybe a case we might need to seek.
Yeah, it's good. There's a lot of time and effort went into putting that consent together, and we thought we had it right, taking into account the lessons we learnt from the previous one. So, yeah, very happy with that.
Were there any conditions outlined by the Commissioner?
Well, there's broad conditions, including an environmental plan that we've got to submit as part of it, and we'd proposed that that was something that we would do. And there are other ones that relate to the construction of specific parts, but yeah, nothing in there that we can't manage.
Have you had any appeals for the decision so far?
No, well, at this stage we haven't. Of course, it's very early days. It's really only day one of a 15 working day period. And those appeals, of course, come into the regulatory part of the District Council or to Environment Southland.
Any appeals could set you back quite significantly, though, in meeting that December deadline?
Yeah, they certainly could if we end up having to go through a full Environment Court appeal process. It is likely, in fact, a decision might not be out until just near the end of the year, so we certainly wouldn't have time to construct that piece of the trail by the end of the year.
And if no appeals are made, how likely is it that you will meet that December deadline?
We're fairly confident about that. It means we'll have to build some of it through winter, of course, which isn't ideal, but some work is underway already on the sections 6 and 7 just out of Mosburn. We're happy with progress. Obviously, part of the consented area includes a large bridge, and we've got to work around things like fishing, spawning seasons, and so there's closeout periods in there, but we've got enough window of opportunity to achieve that. If there's no appeal lodged, we go forward with finalising design and getting contracts out for that section of the trail.
And when could we expect construction to begin?
Well, construction of that part is probably 3 months away. We'd like to get the trail constructed early in the summer of next year or the coming summer, and that would allow people to be able to ride the full circuit of the trail, at least in the latter part of this summer or the coming summer, and that would be a great outcome.
Two men have appeared in the Invercargill District Court charged with the aggravated robbery of the Gladstone Night and Day store. A 31-year-old and 40-year-old, both of Invercargill, were arrested by Invercargill police on Friday morning for the robbery, which occurred on the morning of December 18th. Both men were granted interim name suppression, with one remanded in custody while the other was granted bail. Both are scheduled to reappear on April 17th. Of the 6 aggravated robberies of dairies and convenience stores in Invercargill during the last quarter of 2014, Invercargill police have made arrests in relation to 5 of them, citing great police work and good information from public leading to the arrests. Police would still like to hear from anyone with information about the aggravated robbery of the Gladstone Night and Day store on Monday, December 8th. Thousands visited the ILT Stadium on Saturday to get their fill of some foreign delicacies.
To show Southlanders how diverse the region really is, residents were invited to come along and get a taste of the wide range of cultures from the people and businesses established in Invercargill. The Multicultural Food Festival offered cuisine from all over the world, including India, Samoa, China and Malaysia. Those who came along to fill their stomachs were offered a variety of food ranging from burgers to raw fish, chips on skewers and plenty for that sweet tooth. Entertainment from different cultures was also included and treated Southlanders to lunch and a show. Event organisers said the festival was a way of bringing every culture together to raise awareness, promote tolerance and to celebrate diversity.
Stay with us after the break. Invercargill's first international flight gets close to taking off, plus the surf to city and heritage in Bluff. Welcome back. The first chartered international flight out of Invercargill is set to take off this year, and one Invercargill man is offering residents the chance to make history. Travel agent Tony Laker will be flying up to 168 people out of Invercargill and directly to the Melbourne Cup for the day trip of a lifetime. We caught up with Tony to find out what this means for the city.
I think it's huge, and it depends which angle you take. It's the first international flight out of Invercargill, which is great. I mean, that's very exciting. It's the day charter. It's chartering an aircraft off Air New Zealand, which I think is fun as well. But I think it's really great. It's a celebration of Invercargill, I reckon.
And there must be a lot of work going into this. How have you managed to pull it all together?
Yeah, tons actually. Well, Air New Zealand have been very good about it with the charter, and they're taking care of the stuff like MAF and customs and security, which is a big deal. And then a lot of organisation around, of course, of filling the thing up, because it won't go if we don't fill it.
And why Melbourne Cup?
Well, it had to be somewhere in Australia for the day trip, and I thought about Bledisloe Cups and all sorts of things over there you can do, but I think Melbourne Cup's got the most attraction for people. It's a big bucket list thing, which I've found since I've released it, is people just want to go and see the Melbourne Cup in some time in their life and tick it off, so that's going to be really cool. It's a 168-seater, and we want to get to 150 if we can, with a few spare seats left over for various reasons, but we need to get about 120 to make it go. So we've got till the 1st of May, so if people out there are thinking about booking, really important they get in pretty early. If it doesn't go, full refund of the deposit, so there's no issue there, but we need to fill it up pretty fast to make sure, because Air New Zealand I need to tell them on the 1st of May whether it's going or they can have it back.
And what numbers are you up to now?
Well, we released it a couple of days ago, and we're up to about 25 so far, and the phone's been ringing all day today, so we haven't had a look in the last couple of hours, but I think we've got this information evening coming up next Thursday, the 26th, at the Ascot, where the Melbourne Cup's actually flying over. We're going to have the Melbourne Cup in residence, and there's a big information night about our flight there, so a lot of people going to that and then waiting to hear about that before they book, I think, as well, so yeah, we're going good.
So there's a pretty good chance of this actually happening then?
Oh, it's going to happen. I'm going to make sure it does happen. I haven't done all this work to not happen, and I don't want to let down a whole lot of people that are really excited already. So, yeah, we're going to get there. But I do stress to people, don't wait a couple of months before they decide to go to book if they want to go get into it. Yeah.
So how will the day run?
7 o'clock out of here in the morning, and it's a direct flight to Melbourne, of course, so it's about 2.25 hours. It's a really quick flight from Invercargill. We get in at 8:25 local time. We'll have some buses waiting for us to take us to the racecourse. We'll have some bookies on board to tell us the tips and the scratchings and all that on the way on the buses, so that'll be cool. And then the whole day we've got an amazing hospitality area, a big marquee area that we've got our own one, and it's continuous food, continuous drinks all day, so it's all inclusive. The whole thing's, there's nothing to pay for except you're gambling all day. 3/4 an hour after the last race, we'll go back to the airport, 8 o'clock out of Melbourne, and with that funny time change on the way home, we get it back in about 1 in the morning back into Invercargill. So big day out, but lots of fun.
So people will definitely be getting their money's worth then?
Yeah, I think it's good. I mean, it's 2, 3, 4 per person, but that, as I said, that's absolutely all inclusive of everything. So there's nothing else to pay for. So it'll just be fun. I'm already thinking about what we're going to do over on the way over in terms of fashion parades in the aisle, and we'll have a race calling competition and all sorts of things going on. So it's going to be just so much fun. We're really looking forward to it. Yeah.
Sounds like a riot and very dangerous. Many of the province's Year 4 students will be bringing home a new book from school tonight. 8 and 9-year-olds today received free copies of Usborne's illustrated dictionaries, and Invercargill North Rotarians were busy delivering the freebies as part of the Dictionaries in Schools global initiative, aiding Rotary International's ongoing goal for worldwide literacy development. The special Australia-New Zealand edition's been circulating for around 9 years at around 20,000 copies each year. Year 4 pupils at Ascot Community School today were enthusiastic and thankful for their gift.
New Zealanders. Thank you, Rotary, for our dictionaries.
I think having their own dictionary, particularly one like this, which is beautifully illustrated, and it's got lots of words that the children will use in their literacy, and particularly in their writing and reading. So it means a lot to them. They look after them, and they have used them even towards adulthood. So yeah.
And also a connection with some local sponsors as well on this.
Yes, I understand so. There's a freight company who transports them all down to Southland for nothing, and I understand E-Hayes have sponsored, along with a number of the Rotarians who have been involved in it themselves. Yeah. There's almost a generation of Year 4 students who have now received this dictionary free of charge. Fantastic.
It was a step back in time for anyone visiting Bluff at the weekend as the seaside town participated in its first Heritage Month. The nation's oldest European township was visited by hundreds for its first ever Bluff Heritage Day. The event offered a central hub at Te Araha Marae, which offered special guest speakers and musical entertainment. Visitors to the marae chose which attractions they wanted to see from brochures and then made their own way around the town. The large voice and ringing bell of a town crier helped visitors to navigate around the island and to all the main heritage sites, while clear, calm skies offered a perfect day for families to share a picnic outside. It was a great day for the beach yesterday, but for the thousands who turned out, it was a short-lived stay.
Aridi Beach was the starting line for one of Southland's biggest Surf to City events to date. More than 3,000 people turned out, from the youngest of walkers to the keenest of riders. The event offered 12, 6 or 2.5 kilometre distances which could be run, walked or cycled, with the addition of cycling to the 6 kilometre adding to the extra large numbers this year. Also contributing numbers was the presence of local groups, including some of the region's Territorial Force soldiers, who donned all of their gear to run for the charity event. A sea of red faces flowed through the gates of Queen's Park as masses of bikers, runners and walkers crossed the finish line.
Top effort. Now it's time to take a look at the weather.
Your forecast on Q is brought to you by Environment Southland. Environment Southland wants to know what you think about our recreational water areas. Where do you go? What do you do? And your thoughts about the water quality. You could win one of 5 $100 vouchers simply by completing their survey. The survey will help them find out whether the water is being tested in the right places and how the service can be improved. Complete the survey online by going to Environment Southland's website, or pick up a hard copy from Environment Southland, the Southland District Council, Gore District Council, Invercargill City Council or Public Health South.
Taking a look at the weather for today, Monday the 16th of March. Quite a variation across the country today. Auckland the high of 23 degrees, Wellington on 16, Christchurch 13, 10 the low for Dunedin, Queenstown and Gore on 11, and Invercargill 12 degrees today, followed by Stewart Island on 14. Looking ahead to tomorrow, should be mostly cloudy with scattered showers with a fresh southwesterly winds. Invercargill Half Moon Bay looking for 11 tomorrow, 12 for Wyndham, 12 for Gore, 13 for Invercargill. And Te Anau and Queenstown chasing 13 the high there tomorrow, overnight lows of 5 forecast. To the marine forecast for FOVO, southerly 15 knots to southerly 25 knots, southwest swell of 2 metres changing to northeast 3 metres, sea becoming rough and fair visibility in scattered showers. Pusiga southerly 25 knots to southwest 25 knots and a southwest swell of 3 metres, sea becoming rough. And in the long-range forecast for Wednesday, occasional showers clearing in the evening with fresh cold southwesterlies. Mainly fine on Thursday with northeasterlies developing and fine with northerlies. And strong in exposed places on Friday. And that's it from us. Sport follows along shortly from the news team though. It's good night.